All right, thank you, Brooke. And everybody, we have Governor Gianforte live with us this morning. Thanks for coming on, Governor.
Yeah, Heidi, good to see you.
I know you have a busy day, so thanks for coming on early. I want to jump right into some recent headlines we've had about Pyramid Mountain Lumber in Seeley Lake, Roseburg Lumber in Missoula closing their doors, and officials estimating that's about a loss of some 250 jobs.
Yeah, that really disappointing news. When we learned of it, they've been a backbone in our economy for a long time, creating good jobs here. Immediately upon hearing that, we directed the Department of Labor and Industry to, we have essentially a SWAT team that helps engage. Fortunately, we have very low unemployment in the state, so we have jobs available. We're going to help these families in their transition to get into new jobs. And it leads into the good news that we'll be today cutting the ribbon on a new business here in Missoula that's going to create 100 new jobs here in Missoula that are good paying jobs, with Amazon opening their first facility in the state. I was out there for the groundbreaking in the fall of 2022, and today we'll be cutting the ribbon on a new business. And it's really this comes on the heels of a number of new businesses deciding to move to Montana that we're pretty excited about. We just added 500 jobs in Lewistown, 350 jobs in Glendive, 450 jobs in Butte, and now 100 new jobs here in Missoula County. So hopefully that'll take up a little bit of the slack, but we're going to be there for those families to make sure they can get into a new position, they can land on their feet.
What's going into Lewistown with that many jobs? That
business is a German manufacturer that we recruited. We spent 2 years serving them elk steaks and wining and dining them. They're going to do advanced manufacturing. It's a company called Vacom. Jens Bergner is the CEO, and they make high precision components for the semiconductor industry. They ship all over the world, and with a lot of our semiconductor manufacturing coming back onshore, they had about 2,000 clients here in the U.S., but no facility in North America. Their headquarters is in Germany, and I just have to say, Fergus County and Lewistown has really embraced this company. They're building a facility out at the airport for their campus. They're building full-time childcare for all their employees, a cafeteria. They really create a family atmosphere. It's the kind of business we want to have here in Montana. And I'm just so proud of the work that the Department of Commerce has done with our red carpet program, where we have now 150 businesses in our business recruitment pipeline. We passed, pro-business policy, and companies are recognizing that, and they want to come to Montana and create good paying jobs here. So it's disappointing to have the loss that we did, but we have an economy that's emerging that will hopefully create great opportunities for people going forward.
Okay. Some concerns Montanans have right now include the big rise in their property taxes that they've seen recently. Counties are coming together discussing this, and one of the issues I know is kind of the confusing situation on these equalization mills for schools and education.
Yeah, so I agree with Montana's. Property taxes are too high. Property taxes are primarily driven by local spending, local municipality and the local school district. We were proud to get $1,350 of rebates to all Montana homeowners. That more than covers any increase they've seen for most homeowners over the next 2 years, but that's a temporary fix. We need a longer-term fix to property taxes. That's why we stood up our property tax task force. That's the same thing we did with housing, and we got a great result. It's a bipartisan effort. I'm looking forward to getting those results this summer, and that'll give us a permanent fix for the property taxes.
And let's dovetail into homelessness. I'm seeing other states, say like California, putting billions aside to try to deal with this issue. Chicago trying to pass different measurements. We even see sort of, you could call this person a vigilante in the Missoula area trying to clear the river area. What can be done to address the homelessness crisis?
Well, there's a couple of things we're doing. It was really a priority of ours to invest in behavioral health. So out of our surplus in the 2023 session, we put $300 million, just really a record investment, into behavioral health. It's going to do two things. One, rebuild the state hospital in Warm Springs, but more importantly, and particularly to homelessness, is it's going to bring back community-based mental health services, like a mobile assistance van and other things. So we have a commission meeting. I've approved about 5 or 6 of these projects so far. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing we need to deal with is the affordability of housing. There was an interesting report here in Missoula recently that because of the actions we've taken to release the free market to increase the supply of multifamily homes, rents in Missoula have come down about 20% just in the last year. And vacancy rates have gone from just over 1% to over 6%, which is a much healthier market where it gives individuals more choices. So we're getting some national recognition. It's been referred to as the Montana miracle, what we've done on affordable housing. There's no way to buy our way out of this program, out of this problem. We really have to release the free market, and we're going to do that by increasing the supply of housing. That means more carpenters and plumbers, get rid of restrictive zoning that prevents people from building, and it's working. It was interesting, a national publication actually called it that. They called it the Montana miracle, and we're really ahead of the rest of the country on this.
Okay. I want to move on to a subject that really is controlled federally and tribally. There was great concern last summer with the levels at Flathead Lake, and I just want to give you a chance to weigh in. Is there any role or suggestion the state can make?
Yeah, so it's impacting people's livelihoods, it's impacting people's recreation, it's impacting our power supply, it has an impact on the environment. Drought is tough, and that's the root of the problem. We just haven't had enough rain. I've been meeting with stakeholders, trying to bring them together, do what we can, and help define a path forward. We want the lake to be full. We need to generate power. We need to make sure the environment isn't harmed. So those are the edges of the box.
Okay, and still talking, I assume, about drought. We've had a very dry and warm winter, and that raises concerns for wildfire season and dangers. What are your predictions or preparations for wildfires?
Well, we'll be ready, but if it's a drier summer, I think we need everyone's help. Last year, 87% of the fires we saw were human-caused. This is a campfire that got away, someone dragging chains, haying equipment sparking a fire. So I would just ask folks, be careful when you're out there. I'm proud of the work the state's done. Over 90% of the fires, I think it's over 95% of the fires last year that were under state control, we kept to under 10 acres. So we've adopted an aggressive attack posture on fires. We're going to throw resources at them early to put them out, because a weenie roast is a lot easier to deal with than a massive forest that's on fire. And then we're going to continue to pursue forest management. We have to be better stewards of our forests, but that's the long-term solution. In the short term, we're going to fight them aggressively, and we need everyone's help to be careful when they're out in the woods. Okay.
Well, Governor, I'm going to be very bold here. I recently interviewed Senator Steve Daines and asked him about Republican leadership, and he said he had been approached about possibly stepping up to a Mitch McConnell role. I want to ask you, should, say, you be asked to be on the ticket, maybe be a vice presidential candidate, would you say yes?
I already have a job. And it's right here in Montana.
He had a quick response to that, didn't you?
Yeah, I love serving the state. We're about to kick off our 56 county tour, which gets me to every corner of the state. And I always say, you don't learn as much sitting behind a desk. So I like getting out, and I look forward to seeing folks in their local communities.
Well, I think we're going to still keep at it and keep asking you those questions. But for now, thank you so much for taking time for our viewers this morning. And I know that we'll be seeing you later at the events today.
Great.
We have reporters heading there.
Yeah, we're going to have a big ribbon cutting.
Yeah, and we will have coverage of that tonight at 5, 6, and 10. We're talking about the big Amazon facility opening in the Missoula area.
Sure. Thank you, Heidi.
All right. Thank you, Governor.
Yep.